Want to speak real Italian from your first lesson? Sign up for your free lifetime account at ItalianPod101.com.
Top 10 phrases your parents always say. So it's something that, if you, for instance, if you go on holidays in Italy, you will hear a lot of parents saying this kind of words, exactly those words, to their kids. Let's start. Stai attento. Be careful. Stai attento. Be careful. Stai attento is pretty much used for everything, you know. For instance, when, you know, a kid starts to run and parents say, stai attento, you know, let's, you know, to bear in mind that, you know, you have to be careful what you do. Fa silenzio. Be quiet. Fa silenzio. Be quiet. Or you can also say fa silenzio, or also stai tranquillo. Comportati bene. Behave yourself. Comportati bene is like behave yourself, you know, comportati bene. Fai I tuoi compiti. Do your homework. Fai I tuoi compiti. Do your homework. Va a letto. Go to bed. Va a letto. Go to bed. Sto per contare fino a 3. I'm going to count to 3. Sto per contare fino a 3. I'm going to count to 3. Okay, this is something that pretty much every kid hear from the parents, is when, you know, for example, they ask you to do something, or, you know, and they give you like the time, you know, so you basically don't have time, you have to do what they say. And so this is the way, sto per contare fino a 3, I'm going to count till 3, you know, 1, 2, 3 is very, very quick. So it basically means that you better listen to them. Fermo, stop. Fermo, stop. You know, I don't know, when you're doing something which is not good, or for instance, the kid is running very fast, you know, and you want to say stop, you know, you say fermo or ferma. Ferma is a female version of it. Cosa hai detto? What did you say? Cosa hai detto? What did you say? A very common question that you can use in very different situations. Cosa hai detto? For instance, when you don't understand when someone is talking about something, you know, you don't understand, and you say, what are you talking about? You know, I don't understand. Not really much like, I mean, not like, cosa stai dicendo? It's like more to say, can you repeat please? You know? Non sto scherzando. I'm not kidding. Non sto scherzando. I'm not kidding. You can also say I'm not joking, of course, and it's pretty much the same when parents say non sto scherzando, you know. You better take me seriously, you know. This is pretty much the meaning. Spegni il televisore ora. Turn the TV off now. Spegni il televisore ora. Turn the TV off now. Something very common again that happened, that, you know, every kid just hear from the parents. 20 travel phrases you should know. So something quite usual if happens that, for instance, you're going to travel in my country, in Italy. So let's start. Potrei avere una mappa? Could I get a map? Potrei avere una mappa? Could I get a map? Is actually something really useful, especially if you find yourself in a situation where you don't know where you are and you want to ask someone help. Let's say you're going to a local shop and you say, potrei avere una mappa? Parla inglese? Do you speak English? Another useful phrase is parla inglese? Do you speak English? This is something really, really useful when you are abroad and you want to know if someone speaks English, and you say parla inglese? C'è un autobus dall'aeroporto alla città? Is there a bus from the airport to the city? C'è un autobus dall'aeroporto alla città? Is there a bus from the airport to the city? This is specifically from the airport to the city, so dall'aeroporto alla città, from the airport to the city. Dov'è la stazione? Where is the train station? Dov'è la stazione? Where is the train station? So in this case, dov'è la stazione is a bit generic in Italian, because you can say where is the train station, which is dov'è la stazione dei treni, but you can also say dov'è la stazione del bus, where is the autobus station, you know. You should be like specific, because people, they might ask you which station are you looking for, train station or bus station, because they are quite different. Sometimes are in different places in Italy. Mi scusi, qual è la tariffa? Excuse me, what's the fare? Mi scusi, qual è la tariffa? Excuse me, what's the fare? You can also say, mi scusi, quanto costa? È questo l'autobus giusto per l'aeroporto? Is this the right bus for the airport? È questo l'autobus giusto per l'aeroporto? Is this the right bus for the airport? You can also say this with trains, with any kind of public transport really, you know? And also, è questo il treno giusto per l'aeroporto? La connessione Wi-Fi è gratuita? Is the Wi-Fi free? La connessione Wi-Fi è gratuita? Is the Wi-Fi free? Then you can check your maps, watch for public transport yourself, You can also say, avete Wi-Fi? Which is actually pretty much the same. They will understand what you're talking about. Ha qualche posto libero per stasera? Do you have any vacancies tonight? Ha qualche posto libero per stasera? Do you have any vacancies tonight? In this case, you are talking about hotel rooms or, any kind of place where you can spend the night, where you are abroad as an hotel or a B&B or an apartment, And you can actually say, avete qualche posto libero? Potrei spostarmi in una camera diversa? Could I move to a different room? Potrei spostarmi in una camera diversa? Could I move to a different room? So let's say you just find an hotel, but they give you like a very small room and you need more things, and you can just say, avete un'altra camera? They will understand that you want to change your room basically. Ho prenotato. I have a reservation. Ho prenotato. I have a reservation. So basically when you say ho prenotato, means that you have booked. Potremmo avere il menu, per favore? Could we have the menu, please? So this is about the food. In English you say, could we have the menu, please? And so in Italian you say, potremmo avere il menu, per favore? Potremmo, if you are like loads of people, but if you are by yourself, you say, potrei avere il menu, per favore? I mean, they will understand exactly what you're talking about. Potrei avere il conto? Could I have the check? Potrei avere il conto? Could I have the check? The check is the bill. You finish to eat and you want to know how much the amount, that you have to pay for. So you say, potrei avere il conto, per favore? Sono allergico alle arachidi. I am allergic to peanuts. Sono allergico alle arachidi. I am allergic to peanuts. This is very important, especially if you're allergic to some food, to avoid any problems when you are around for your holidays, And this is actually a very good example when you say, sono allergico. Allergico means that you have an allergy, so you are not able to get this food. So, sono allergico alle arachidi. Sono allergico al gluten, which means like I'm allergic to gluten, for instance, And so on. Acqua, per favore. Water, please. Acqua, per favore. Water, please. Quanto costa? How much is this? Quanto costa? How much is this? Also you can say, mi potrebbe dire quanto costa, per favore? Which means like, could I know how much is that, please, Ne vorrei 10 di questi. I'd like 10 of these. Ne vorrei 10 di questi. I'd like 10 of these. Which is like, let's say you saw something and you want to know just the quantity, you want more than one, and you say, ne vorrei uno, like I want one, ne vorrei due, I want two, and so on, and let's say in this case it's ne vorrei 10. Vorrei questo. I'd like this. Vorrei questo. There is just one particular thing that just grab your attention and you say, I want this. Vorrei questo. Potrebbe farmi uno sconto? Could you give me a discount? Potrebbe farmi uno sconto? Could you give me a discount? So this is quite important, especially if you get around quite often and you want to have discounts on things. Let's say you want to you buy like a bunch of things and you want a discount from the seller and you say, posso avere lo sconto, per favore? Accettate le carte di credito? Do you take credit card? Accettate la carta di credito? Do you take credit cards? Potrebbe farmi una foto, per favore? Could you take a picture of me, please? Potrebbe farmi una foto, per favore? Could you take a picture of me, please? That might be happening, you are in front of a very important monument and you want someone to make a photo of you. And then you say, potrebbe farmi una foto, per favore?
Want to speak real Italian from your first lesson? Sign up for your free lifetime account at ItalianPod101.com.
Come to the 10 phrases you always want to hear. Avevi ragione. You were right. Hey, why don't you add some salt? Perché non aggiungi del sale? I don't know. Oh, you were right. It's really tasteful. Oh, avevi ragione, è veramente buono. Ci sarà un bonus alla fine del mese. There will be a bonus at the end of the month. So you will be able to buy that dress that you really wanted, or maybe just save some money to travel. If you get a bonus at the end of the month, se hai un bonus alla fine del mese, save up money. E vinci tu, and you win. Maybe you're in a group of friends and you're discussing about what to do. After all the suggestions, you are the one who suggested the right one. So when everyone are like, yeah, let's do what you said, can be hai vinci tu, and you win. Or hai vinto tu, and you won. Hai fatto un ottimo lavoro. You did a great job. Of course, that's something that everyone would like to hear. Maybe just after some exercise, sports exercise, or school thing. Oh, you did a great job. Hai fatto un ottimo lavoro. It's something that can always apply, and yeah, you can always use it. Ottimo lavoro. Good job. Il budget è illimitato. The budget is unlimited. If you are buying something and you have an unlimited budget, well, that's amazing. You can buy everything. That's probably a dream. The budget is unlimited. Il budget è illimitato. It sounds so nice. Mi manchi. I miss you. Me means to me. So, to me, you are missing, basically. The meaning is the same, of course, but the verb, mancare, literally means something is missing. You can tell that to your partner, your friend, your family. Everyone would be happy to hear that, I think. Prenditi una pausa, farò io le pulizie di oggi. Take a break, I'll do the cleaning today. That's something really nice. Would it ever happen? I hope so. And yeah, let's think it will someday. Maybe it's even nicer to say prendiamoci una pausa. So let's take a break together and let's go somewhere. Let's go on vacation. Andiamo in vacanza. Sei una cuoca eccellente. You are an excellent cook. If you want to say that to a boy, it would be sei un cuoco eccellente. So eccellente stays the same, but cuoco is for boys, while cuoca is for girls. Everything was delicious, era tutto delizioso, or as kids do when they're not talking yet, this is buono, good. That was nice, good to eat. And you turn it. Stai benissimo oggi? You look great today. So if you're like different from the usual and people tell you, oh, you look great today, ah, stai benissimo oggi, that's nice. If you didn't change anything and people still tell you, you look great today, stai benissimo oggi, maybe they have something they would like to ask you or something to be forgiven for. If you want to say, you're really beautiful today, you can also say, sei bellissima oggi, or if it's to a boy, sei bellissimo oggi. Ti ho portato qualcosa di speciale. I brought you something special. And then you start to wonder, what can it be? Cake? Maybe? That would be nice. It's I brought you something special. Can be maybe your favorite dish, your favorite sweet, your favorite cake, or a present would be nice too. So you answer, grazie, davvero. Oh, thank you, really. Oh, non c'era bisogno. Oh, you didn't have to.
The top 10 phrases you'll need for a date. Let's start. Ti piacerebbe andare a cena con me? Would you like to go out to dinner with me? Ti piacerebbe andare a cena con me? Would you like to go out to dinner with me? Sei libero questo fine settimana? Are you free this weekend? It's actually a kind of very common question because usually people are very busy during the weekend. Weekend time is the best time to spend with your loved one, families, loved one, friends, because you're more relaxed, you have more time. And this is a kind of common question if you want to ask someone for a date. So, are you free this weekend? Sei libero questo weekend? Vuoi uscire con me? Would you like to hang out with me? Vuoi uscire con me? Would you like to hang out with me? It's a very informal way to ask someone to go out with him. Sei così carino. You are so cute. It's usually, in Italy especially, is more common maybe, that males make compliments to females than the opposite thing. But saying you're so cute is quite a very sweet thing to say. Sei così carino. It's not just about the physical appearance, it's also about the approach. If you're kind, you can say sei così carino, stai benissimo. You look great. So you can pretty much say this to everybody. Stai benissimo, if someone dresses in a way that you like particularly, so you can say stai benissimo. Ti chiamerò. I'll call you. So ti chiamerò is actually some other very common phrase, sentence that you can say, that you can actually use for many different situations. So ti chiamerò, I'll call you. Ti riaccompagnerò in macchina a casa. I will drive you home. You can also say ti accompagno a casa in macchina, which means the same thing. A che ora ci vediamo domani? What time shall we meet tomorrow? A che ora ci vediamo domani? What time shall we meet tomorrow? Posso vederti ancora? Can I see you again? Or you can also say like, will I see you again? As in Italian sounds like ti vedrò ancora. It's a very romantic way to say, that you like someone, that you want to see the person again. Vogliamo andare da qualche altra parte? Shall we go somewhere else? Vogliamo andare da qualche altra parte? Shall we go somewhere else?
10 phrases to amaze native speakers. Woohoo! Grazie, ma in realtà io non sono un madrelingua. Thank you, but I'm not a native speaker, actually. So it probably means that someone complimented you on your Italian. Like, wow, il tuo italiano è perfetto. Wow, your Italian is perfect. Yeah, thank you, but I'm not a native speaker. Sì, grazie, ma non sono un madrelingua. If people tell you something and you answer in this way, means you have a high level, like high proficiency level of Italian. Good job. Ho capito completamente tutto quello che hai detto. I completely understood everything you said. Actually, maybe it's better to say ho capito tutto quello che hai detto. I understood everything you say. Because if you add completamente, completely, it's kind of too much. So, yeah, ho capito tutto quello che hai detto. They would be amazed. Like, wow, you're great. But then people will expect that you know everything, like really everything, and maybe use also different words. I would stay with the stay humble. Like, yeah, I got the sense of that. Sì, ho capito il senso di quello che hai detto. So you can always surprise people and not make them expect that you know everything. But that's my personal thing. Ho studiato italiano per 10 anni. I've been learning Italian for 10 years. Well, that's amazing when I think that you did that for so long. 10 years is really long. But it's not really something to be proud of if you're still not able to talk a lot. So yeah, be careful with this phrase because you can amaze people because they would like admire you for how much efforts you put in your study. But yeah, if you have a high level or you feel confident in Italian or whatever language you're learning, you can say, hey, ho studiato l'italiano or some other languages per 10 anni. And that's amazing. But yeah, just be careful. Not to make the other person expect that you know everything. And then you don't. That it's completely understandable. But yeah, people would be amazed because you had such a long patience, basically. You were patient and studied so long. If you haven't been learning Italian for 10 years, but less, you just say the number and then add anni, like 2 anni, 3 anni, 4 anni. One would be anno and not anni. Or probably something that would amaze even more, it's when you say ho studiato l'italiano per neanche un anno. I've been learning Italian for not even a year and you know how to speak that, that's amazing. And yeah, people will be amazed. L'italiano è divertente e facile da imparare. Italian is fun and easy to learn. I can believe that it's fun for people to learn that, but I wouldn't say that it's easy. So if you tell a native speaker that you find it easy, I will be impressed because we have so many verbs, so many irregular verbs, and we have articles like feminine and masculine. I understand that it's really hard to understand. Like who established what's feminine and what's masculine? But that's a secret. So yeah, if you find Italian fun and easy, quindi se trovi l'italiano divertente e facile, you amazed me. Mi ci è voluto solo un anno per diventare fluente. It took me only 1 year to become fluent. That's amazing, for real. As I was saying before, I know Italian is not easy, but you know that actually, I didn't know that, I just learned that, like I was reading an article, and it says that Italian is the fourth most learned language in the world. So we have English, Spanish, Chinese, and then Italian. I was really surprised about that. I don't know why so many people learn Italian. But if you find that fun and easy, you're welcome. Oltre a conoscere l'italiano, so parlare anche alcune altre lingue. Apart from knowing Italian, I can speak a few other languages. Yeah, that's great. But it always depends on, like, if you can say, hey, how are you, in 20 languages, that it's amazing. But, like, to amaze people, you need to have a high level. So, in my opinion, at least in my case, I would say that studying 2 languages at a time, it's already enough. Parlerò italiano come un madrelingua in 3 anni. I will speak Italian like a native speaker in 3 years. But if you're not that confident, maybe don't say that, because people will expect you to do that. Maybe people will be like skeptical and be like, oh, really? And how are you gonna do that? Tell me, you master, Italian master. If you really know that you can do that, like maybe you are going to study abroad in Italy, staying there, spending there 2 years, also maybe 1 if you studied a lot before, I'm sure you will be fluent. So you can say that, but don't use it too much. Don't be overwhelming. If you want to say something not so strong, maybe you can say vorrei parlare italiano come un madrelingua in 3 anni. I would like to speak Italian like a native speaker in 3 years. And that's more acceptable. People will like it more. So I suggest you vorrei instead of I will, instead of parlerò. Parlerò is I will speak. Vorrei, I would like to. So yeah, anyway, keep it up. Posso guardare film italiani senza sottotitoli. I can watch Italian movies without subtitles. That's amazing, for real. How many times did I say amazing in this video? Anyway, well, actually, maybe it can be helpful to do that, because you pay more attention on what they do and you're not like, oh, it's okay, anyway, I can read the subtitle. No, you need to focus on what they say. And especially for Italian movies, like, I mean, Italian movies made by Italian actors, maybe that's also a good way to learn Italian, because they use a lot of gestures and you can learn like how to say, I'm hungry. You do these on your stomach and it means I'm hungry, yeah. Or these, can we go? Yeah, so if you watch Italian movies, it's a good way to learn fun things, actually, and to learn Italian idiomatic expressions, maybe. So yeah, that's a good phrase to amaze people, but also a good thing to do to learn, actually, Italian. Posso memorizzare circa 50 nuove parole italiane al giorno. I can memorize around 50 new Italian words a day. That's a lot. Like 50. Whoa. No, I would never be able to. But if you can, do that. And yeah, tell that to people. But that means that like in 1 week, you will have 350 new words. Yeah, if you don't manage to memorize so many words in a day, maybe you can change the number and say, for example, posso memorizzare circa 10 nuove parole italiane al giorno. I can memorize around 10 new Italian words a day. And that's cool too. I mean, as long as you can keep it every day, it's great. I would say it's not about how many words you learn, but how many times you do that. Like if you really manage to do that every day, you're basically done. You will manage to be fluent in no time. Keep it down, and then if you can make more, that's even great. Better, but still be humble if you manage to. Sto imparando l'italiano tutto da solo. I'm learning Italian all by myself. Wow. Again, wow. How do you learn a language by yourself? If you're not attending lessons, you can watch videos online, like you are doing now, or read books, grammar books, but also normal books, and watch movies, listening to songs. Try to speak it with person, like real people, maybe native speaker would be better, that will correct you, or even if they will not, because they're not teachers, but just people you want to talk to, like friends, at least you can see if they really understand what you want to say. And that's a good way to check the improvement you have done.
Want to speak real Italian from your first lesson? Sign up for your free lifetime account at ItalianPod101.com.
The 10 questions that you should know. Come stai? How are you? In a basic conversation, this would be maybe the first question that people ask you. For example, ciao, come stai? Ciao, bene, tu? Hi, how are you? Fine, thanks. You? Cosa hai detto? What did you say? This is a useful question. You can also add, can you repeat, please? Puoi ripetere, per favore? If you say this in a bad way, like, che cosa hai detto? What did you say? Che cosa hai detto su di me? What did you say about me? It can also be a starting point for a discussion, for an argument. Just go with the plain tone. Cosa hai detto? Puoi ripetere? That's why I advise you to add puoi ripetere per favore? Can you repeat, please? Di dove sei? Where are you from? I'm from Italy. Sono italiana. This is a question that usually refers to your country, to your nationality. Dov'è il bagno? Where's the bathroom? You can use this question with everything you need to know the place of. For example, dov'è la cucina? Where is the kitchen? Dov'è l'ufficio? Where's the office? Dov'è la scuola? Where's the school? Just put the place that you need to know about after dove è. You can also put a street name. Dove è Via della Francia, for example. Dove abiti? Where do you live? This is more specific than di dove sei. For example, when you already know where the person you're talking to comes from, you can add dove abiti? For example, I live in Turin. Io abito a Torino. By the way, if you don't know it, it's a city in the north of Italy, like here. Dove abiti can also refer to what kind of house do you have? Like, are you living in an apartment, or a mansion, or a house? Yeah, you can ask this question with dove abiti. Dove lavori? Where do you work? It's another easy question that people would ask you when you're talking about yourself. And you can answer, io lavoro all'aeroporto. I work at the airport, for example. Or I work at the supermarket. Lavoro al supermercato. Che lavoro fai? What kind of work do you do? What is your job? Another question that would come together with dove lavori can be che lavoro fai? What job do you do? What's your job? Qual è il tuo lavoro? Quanti anni hai? How old are you? As I said in another video, in Italian you don't answer I am 20, sono 20 anni, but you say I have 20 years old. Io ho 20 anni. Dove hai imparato l'italiano? Where did you learn Italian? Ho imparato l'italiano a scuola. I learned Italian at school. I learned Italian by myself. Ho imparato l'italiano da solo. Another question that would come together with dove hai imparato l'italiano, or another way of asking this would be come hai imparato l'italiano? How did you learn Italian? And you can answer, for example, I learned Italian listening to songs. Ho imparato l'italiano ascoltando canzoni. If you manage, that's great, for real. Bravo. Ti piace la cucina italiana? Do you like Italian food? For example, lasagne, pizza, gelato. I can go on forever, but I will stop here and tell you that another question that will come for sure is qual è il tuo piatto italiano preferito? What is your favorite Italian dish?
If you want to learn a language but don't have a lot of time to dedicate to the endeavor, you need to study as efficiently as possible. You probably aren't a language learning expert or a world traveler. You might have school or a job or two. So in this video, we'll give you 3 ways to help you learn language more efficiently so that you get the most out of your time and effort. Number 1, use your time when you have it. The most valuable resource you have as a language learner is time. While you may not have to spend money to learn a language, you will have to spend time. Hours and minutes are a currency that you trade on a weekly basis to grow in your language learning. Language learning is probably a priority for you. It might not be the #1 priority, like keeping your job or taking care of your family, but it does have to be important enough for you to invest significant amounts of time into your learning. There's just no way around it. That being said, use your time wisely. Because of previous commitments, you can quickly fall into the trap of putting your language learning off, thinking, oh, I'll do it next week, or Saturday, I'll do it Saturday. Needless to say, a few weeks can go by and you haven't really learned or practiced anything. If you find that happening, then take some time and reevaluate your approach. It's probably a long shot for you to be able to spend hours every day learning a new foreign language, but you can use your time to spend an hour or even just 10 minutes a day, every day, studying or practicing. If you're on a busy schedule, an hour a day can sound like reaching for the stars, so start slowly with just a 5-minute lesson. Over time, as you learn more and it becomes more routine, you'll want to spend more time studying. And your studying doesn't even need to be all at once. Make use of the little gaps of time you have in the day. Listen to a podcast while driving to and from work. Review new words while on lunch break or right before bed. Even a quick review while in line at the store or waiting for the bus. Together, these moments add up. This way, your little study session will add up to around 60 minutes of practice every day. You'll quickly be able to see significant improvement in your language abilities. #2, don't method jump. When you're new to language learning, there's a temptation to try out the newest course, app, or method. There are more language learning tools and courses than I can list. But jumping around from podcast to podcast or from textbook to textbook can really hinder your learning process. It's important to find the best method for you, but when you do, stick with it. Don't get distracted by the newest app, or if you suddenly find something faster, cheaper, claiming it can teach you a language with no work on your part. Stick with your learning course or tool. Consistent practice over a period of time is what is essential for language learning. If you hit a bump or plateau, you might be tempted to think, maybe there's a faster or better way to learn. So you search around and buy the next best language learning tool, only to use it for a couple weeks and realize it wasn't really any better than the last course you tried, and the same difficulties you had are still there. If you're learning your first new language and you pick a specific method or course, we suggest you stick with it for at least 3 to 4 months. You actually hurt yourself in the long run if you constantly switch between resources because you never give yourself the opportunity to progress. #3, focus on one thing at a time. When you decide to learn a new language, you're going to be really excited. You have all your resources lined up, a plan in place, and you're ready to go. You think you'll spend 3 to 4 hours a day practicing and that you'll be fluent in no time, but that's only for about 3 days. Then you probably will get a little bit discouraged and avoid it for another 3 days. And this process might repeat 3 or 4 times before you realize that you might be approaching things the wrong way. You can't devour a whole new language in a very short time. You'll burn out immediately. It's better to focus on one small part of the language at a time, either a specific grammar point or a specific vocabulary topic. In the beginning, these should be based on the parts of the language you'll use right away. Even in the business world, research shows that replacing less important tasks with ones that add value and help you reach your goals is the best way to get the most out of your time. As you advance through the language and your level increases, try to pinpoint the harder aspects of the language and work on them one at a time. Learning a foreign language isn't easy. It takes time and work, but it is possible. If you stick to your learning plans and stay focused, you will see improvement in your skills and find satisfaction in using the language. Remember that learning a language is really more like a journey. It doesn't have to feel like school or work. Savor your experience with learning and enjoy every step along the way. And for even more tips on learning efficiently, check out our complete language learning program. Sign up for your free lifetime account by clicking on the link in the description. Get tons of resources to have you speaking in your target language. And if you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share the video with anyone who's trying to learn a new language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. I'll see you next time. Bye! Great work! Here's a reward. Speed up your language learning with our PDF lessons. Get all of our best PDF cheat sheets and ebooks for free. Just click the link in the description.